So you can see that with just this little code and letting AI do the work, we can generate this complete page, which is pretty great because with the PBIP, your development process is getting so much faster. So welcome back to my latest YouTube video. And today we will dig deeper into the PBIP and I will show you also how you can connect AI to the PBIP and let AI do changes in your report so AI can then create visuals. So let's jump into Power BI and I will show you how it works. So here we are in Power BI and you can see there I have a report with one page and a visual that shows the revenue trend across the months. The first thing we will do now is we will save this file, it's a PBIX at the moment, as a PBIP. And for that, we will go to File, go to Save As, browse this device, and we will choose here PBIP instead of the PBIX. I will give it a better name. So it's the e-commerce analysis, and then we will save it. And then you can see here it's a Power BI project, which is much better for us. I will show you why, because now we have a folder structure. We do not have this PBIX anymore with the complicated name. We have now an e-commerce analysis report folder and a semantic model folder. And with these two folders, we can connect to AI. So the first thing we will look for is the Visual Studio Code. And in the Visual Studio Code, I will open a folder and we will open the report folder first. So I will select this folder. I don't need to save my workspace configuration because I won't reopen it again in this case. So I can say don't save. Then I have to say trust the authors. And then I can see here the folder, the e-commerce analysis report. This is the folder we connected. And here I can see different subfolders. I can show you this also here, because if we open the report folder, we have the PBI, we have the definition, the static resources, and we also have a definition PBIR file. And you can see that also here, because here you can see the folders, and here you can see the PBIR. And you can already see that in the definition folders, you have some bookmarks, and you have pages. And if we look at the page JSON, we can double click it. You can see that there is a schema, and then you have a name which is not very readable, and then you have the display name, the revenue. And if we go back to the Power BI file, you can see here, this is the revenue page. So the revenue page is this one, the display option is fit to page, and the height is 1080 and the width is 1920. And the display name is set revenue. And then we can have a look at the visuals, because we know the page has a visual now. So we extend the visual, double click the visual JSON, and here we are. So you can see the X position of the visual, the Y position, the Z is of course 0 because we are not three-dimensional. You can see the height and the width and the tab order. Then you can see the visual type. You can see the entity that is used, so the table that is used. And the property is the month one char, so the short month. And here it is again the table and the property combined. And if you scroll down, you can also see the measure that is used on the second axis. So the measure is the sum of the revenue of the measure table. And if we have a look at Power BI and click on the visual, you can see exactly that. So here is the sum of the revenue from the measures table. If you extend it, you can see it's living in this table in the revenue folder. It's exactly here. And here you can see that the month is the other one and the month is living in the calendar table. So this is what's finally written in the PBIP. So we have only one visual now. And let's say I want to have a second visual. And the first thing we have to do is we have to close this file, because AI wants to work on this file now. So we have to close it. As we have closed the file, we can say now add a second visual on the revenue page and display here the revenue from the actual year and the revenue from the past year. And then we will run that. And then you need to allow some things. So list semantic models in Power BI we will allow in this session. The next is always the same. We will also allow, and we will also allow the execution of text queries. And then we get an important information here. We get the information there's no active semantic model connection in the MCP session. So the problem is, as we only have added the e-commerce analysis report folder, he does not know anything about the semantic model and how our measures are named, because this is not living in the report folder. And we can fix that by add folder to workspace, and we will add here the semantic model. Then you can see here we have two folders now, one times the e-commerce report and the e-commerce analytics semantic model. And if you have a look in there, you can see cultures, you can see tables. And if you expand that, you can see the TMDL of the tables. And if we go to the measure table and double click, then you can see here all the measure definitions. And this is what was missing before. So the measure definitions in the PBIP live in the semantic model, in the definition folder, in the tables, and then you have to go to the requested table. So as we put in that now, we can say, I have added the semantic model folder. Please try again. And now AI should have all the information it needs also about the measure and should be able to perform the requested task. So now you can see here that it's saying I found the exact measure we need, the sum of the revenue and the sum of the revenue past year in the model. And next I'm checking how visuals are registered on the pages, so I can add a second visual clearly without breaking page metadata. And we can see that if we go to the report file, in the report file we have the pages, like we said before, then we have the visuals, and now we have a second visual. And you can see here also this is a clustered column chart. We have the month from the calendar, and we have the sum of the revenue and the sum of the revenue past year. So these things were added, and now we will have a look at the PBIP and look what was happening. So we go back and open the PBIP. And you can see here now that we have a second visual with the sum of the revenue and the sum of the revenue past year. So I think this went pretty well. I do not like the colors, but we could also change that. So I will close the file again, click on save. And the next thing we will try is if we can add a complete page, because now you can see we only have one page with two visuals. And now we will go back and say, add a page for the customer analysis. I want to have a drop down slicer for the years on the page and a trend over the months with the customers in the actual year and in the past year. And I also need the KPI card with the sum of the customers. And we will try what's happening now, because now he should not only add or change a visual, he should add a whole page, and we can watch that here because we should get a second page. You can see that here now because this is page 1 and this is page 2. And you already can see that on this page there are 3 visuals now. I will go to keep here and we will have a look. So the first is a slicer with the calendar year, which looks great, and the value is a drop down. The second visual is a line chart. So he decided to go for a line chart. I did not tell him what he should choose. And in the line chart, you have the customers and the customers for the last year. And the third visual is a card. And in this card, he has the customers. So we will open the report now and we will have a look what we can see in it. So just opening up the PBIP again. And now you can see we have a second page. We have the line chart. We have the slicer that we can use. And we have the KPI card. And now we will try to make it better because I like a title for the chart and I do not like the colors. So we will try if we can also change that. So we will go back and we will say on the customer page, I change the line chart to a column chart and make the previous year value columns in a middle gray and the actual year dark blue. Please also add a title which says customer trends over the months. And we will see what's happening now. And you can follow the process here because he's saying already I found the exact vision and I'm applying a targeted init to switch a class to a custom column chart, set fixed colors, and we will go to keep and we will have a look again. And if we have a look at the customer analysis, now you can see we have the customer in the last year, we have the actual ones. We will also have a look what you did. And we also have the title now. So you can see how fast you can edit your files by just using the PBIP file now, which is pretty great because with the PBIX, this was not possible before. So I hope you liked the video and I hope I could show you how easy AI development can get as soon as you have understood how the PBIP works and what you can find in which places in the PBIP. If you liked the video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and hope to see you next video. Stop Thomas and hope to see you next time on my channel soon. Bye bye.